All right, so we got some comments I want to go over. Let's see if I can find that Central Park. I think it would be under Lucifer. There it is. We got two of them. So you'll see my Trump divided into seven from the seven kings. That's in my TS Daily Bible Studies. So you got Apprentice commercial. And remember, it's the seven kings of Mystery Babylon, and the Antichrist is really these the seventh and the eighth. And the eighth is of the seven. That's the twin Trumps, and that's a remember you had Lord of the Rings, you had Fellowship of the Ring, which is Mystery Babylon, the secret society that runs the earth. And then you, which I don't get into too much detail on, just you know the deal. And the second Lord of the Rings was The Two Towers. So that's your twin Trumps. And then the last Lord of the Rings was Fellowship of the Ring. I'm sorry, which is Return of the King, which is One World Trade Center rising back up. So two towers, and then here comes the Antichrist. Two Trumps, back comes the Antichrist. And so there are seven kings, five are fallen, and one is not yet coming. When he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the eighth, that is of the seven, because it's the twin Trumps. It's a body double switch. Cloning per the movie or the final Star Wars, where they said Palpatine was dead, but no, he's alive. Cloning, dark science, secrets only the Siths knew. We've shown you that clip many times. So you get into Revelation 17. Where it talks about 7 heads and 10 horns. Well, the 7 heads are the 10 kings, and it comes here and says, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen. And we've shown you many times where Trump said, Napoleon, Alexander the Great, Donald Trump are all cut from the same cloth. And that cloth is very, very large. It's a Pizza Hut commercial where he compared himself to Alexander the Great and Napoleon. He said, Napoleon, Alexander the Great, Donald Trump are all cut from the same cloth.
Napoleon, Alexander the Great, Donald Trump, we're all cut from the same cloth. And that cloth is very, very,
very, very large. There's your twin Trumps. Again, the two towers, twin Trump symbology. It's a body double switch, which is why when you get to the Bible verse, which apparently I got rid of, let's try again. There are 7 kings, 5 are fallen. 7 kings. He's the 7th and the 8th. Nebuchadnezzar was not fallen. And if it's 1 out of 6 or 2 out of 7, if it's 2 out of 7, then it's Darius the Mede, also not fallen. It's a video from my other channel. Look at that, an even 24 minutes 00. Boy. Anyway, hang on. Good video there at Telling Truth too. You got the 7 kings, 5 are fallen. But see, Nebuchadnezzar was not fallen. He wrote Daniel 4. He was a king of Babylon, yet he was called by the Lord. Chapter 4 is his process of salvation, his journey to salvation. If we may borrow the Mystery Babylonian words that they're using like crazy, process, journey, because their words are just borrowings of our life as a sheep. Gratitude. They're wearing out the word gratitude. They're wearing out the word journey. If you watch anything to do with college football, it's pride, proud, proud, pride, pride, proud, which sheep are never prideful or proud. That means you had something to do with it. Nope. You never had anything to do with anything. Anything great you did, the Lord had you do that as part of your salvational path. Anything crappy that happened in your life, or anything bad that you did when you were a lost sheep, or even when you mess up as a called sheep, That's the Lord that put you through that as part of your path. There. I like using path better than journey or process. Thank you. But anyway, there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen. Nebuchadnezzar was not fallen. If that's Darius the Mede, if it's 2 out of 7, or if it's just 1 out of 6, then it's just Nebuchadnezzar. If it's 2 out of the 7, because you can take the verse in either direction. There are 7 kings out of the 7, 5 are fallen. Or there are 7 kings, 5 out of the 6 are fallen. And then when it says, and 1 is, that's now going to just talk about the 7th and 8th kings. Or if this is talking about all 7, but now it's going to zero in on the 7th. Either or, it's ambiguous. There are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. The 1 is your 7th, and then the other is not yet come is your 8th. Well, I thought you said 7. Well, it says right here, the 8th is of the 7, because it's a twin body double switch. So there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is Antichrist, and the other is not yet come. Antichrist returns, seemingly from the dead. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. It's a very short space. The Great Trib does not last long at all. And they could even be counting the time that he is running World War III. It's still a very short space. And the beast that was, the twin Trumps, or the Donald as alive, and then is not, oops, twin Trumps are down, or oops, Trump's down. Even he is the 8th. Oh, when World Trade Tower returns, or Return of the King. The 2 towers, Return of the King. So the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th. I thought you said there's 7 kings. Yeah. And is of the 7, because it's the same guy. He's the 8th is actually one of the 7, and goeth into perdition, running World War III. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings. Which is, so anyway, it goes on to the kingdoms of the earth divided into 10. All righty, let's get going with some comments. Another 3 or 33 over and over again. Definitely in the technology. Get them young and dumb. Hook them like a drug. Absolutely. What spirit? They're handed over to the spirit of Babylon, or the spirit of Satan, or the end times Antichrist spirit that's really ramping up on this earth. It's amazing how many are oblivious, and the masses have all the power, but they don't know it. Everything's the design of the Lord. The masses aren't meant to take over. Mystery Babylon is. It's all biblical. But yeah, you're right, Andrew. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, Beatles, Lucy, Lucifer, absolutely. Constantine movie has Arch and Angel Gabriel as a woman. Oh, go figure. Stay warm, my friend. Yeah, you too, my friend. Appreciate that. My son's in Gainesville, a little north of you, and yep, it's going to be down in the mid-20s. What's it going to be here? We do the hours. It said it's supposed to be like 29 degrees. Very crazy. Yeah, see, it don't say it on the hourly, but on the news it said it. So it'll get down to 31 at 7 and 8 a.m. 7 and 8, 31. Then by 9, it's up to 34. No longer freezing. So, okay. So we're done with that. We're done with that. Our good friend, College Football Addict, and I really appreciate Andrew and College Football Addict, really do. Interesting how they put in the background on purpose. Yeah, the Lucifer statue, absolutely. Sade, the yup, very, very possibly. That's a very deep voice Sade's got. I as far as the MTFs, which MTF is the initials of, let's just say the M is for MALE, and the F is for FEMALE, MTF. The T is for 2. It's very ambiguous, because I have often wondered if they don't actually have a female figure, at least for the actresses, to come on the talk shows and so forth. But in the movies, it's almost like a body double or clone that is then an MAL. The one that you would never think it, or most guys would not, is Margot Robbie. And it's so obvious. Margot Robbie, the shoulders are extremely broad. And I think there might be a female version, especially when she, or drop the S, played the role of, but that jaw and those high cheekbones and that head, it's enormous. And right there, that's a very, it starts to, you know, it's the brow ridge that you really have to look at. And they shave all that stuff down and they do a lot of work. And I think they're dealt with at birth. These ones that are made to be later on actresses, quote unquote. I think that that's what I'm talking about. Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn. Lady Gaga is another one. Hard, you know, it's very hard to say how all this works. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn. So you get into these type photos. Oh no. It's just this gigantic mouth and this gigantic head. And again, when you get them at birth and put the hormones and so forth in them, bony knees is another male trait. Not being able to fully cross your legs. Men can't really cross their legs like women can. But Margot Robbie, now Sandra Bullock, I just saw Sandra Bullock in the latest movie, and that, you know, a Bullock is a male. Pink, the singer Pink. Sandra Bullock, IMDb. What movie did I just, yeah, it was Bullet Train. Sure was. Bad plastic surgery. Sandra Bullock, Bullet Train. Rough looking. Rough looking. Here's your Bullet Train. That brow ridge and cheekbones and just everything. It just, yeah. It's tough stuff, man. I try to stay away from that world because it's just too ambiguous, and you could turn a lot of people off because they'll be just like, no way. And you're really barking up a tree that's just argumentative. But you just have to understand, Lucifer is the female trans G version of the male Satan. So having men dress as dresses, and even back in the old days of acting, you know, in the 1500s, 1400s, 1600s, males played all the roles. So males wore wigs and they played the roles of women anyway. And because that was always part of the whole spirit of Mystery Babylon, because the Bible clearly states it's an abomination for a man to wear the clothing of a woman. Bible verse. Deuteronomy 22:5. The woman shall not wear which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. And of course, John Wayne, we showed you the other day, wearing a dress. They've had them all wear dresses. Tom Hanks, all of them. So when you say that, college football addict, totally relate. No clue. Sade, singer. And when they start to get older is when everything starts to break down. I don't know if that's a M or an F. Your guess is as good as mine. I would never argue with anybody over stuff like that, because it's just not worth it. It's too hard to prove. There's no way to know. They could have body doubles and even potentially clones. Remember they said they cloned a sheep in 1995? Sheep, really? Sheep? God's chosen people, the sheep? So they're laughing at you when they say they cloned a sheep. There's no telling how long cloning's been going on. And so all these famous people, I don't know if it's as complex as what I'm saying, or if it's just as simple as it being nothing and we're both wrong, or it's as simple as, yes, there's a real female, and then there are, I don't know, a TRANNY version that appears in movies with heavy filtering and light shading and clothing and things to hide it. I just don't know. The Sweetest Taboo video has a large black bull with a horn in the painting right at the beginning of the video. Sweetest Tattoo, YouTube. So we will turn off the sound where they will absolutely destroy you for playing more than 6-7 seconds. And let's put it on high speed. And there it is. Large black bull you're talking about. Yep. Where am I be? Large black bull with a horn painting at the beginning of the video. I just noticed it for the first time. And a large bullhead on the wall in the background with 2 large horns throughout the video. Donald Cerrone, MMA fighter, has a bull skull on the wall behind him while talking about losing to McGregor, saying he didn't throw the fight. It sure looked like a thrown fight to me. I watch UCF religiously, and because it's the only sport that doesn't seem real. I mean, doesn't seem fake to me, except at certain times. And that was one of them, along with when, what's her name, lost? Nunes seemingly just threw a fight, rolled on her stomach, didn't even fight hands, and took the choke, and came back and won a rematch. That looked like a competitive fight on the rematch. So it's so tough. But I watch college football. It's easy to see. So I'm not entertained by it anymore. The UFC, I mean, they're knocking each other's heads crazy. There's blood everywhere. So I don't know. I'm sure that's not something the Lord wants me watching, but my flesh, I'm still always been a sports freak. So, and Bradshaw family has bull skull on the wall at home. Yeah. So it goes back to my original first Donald Trump Antichrist video that's gotten a couple thousand views, believe it or not. If you go to Telling Truth Archives and you go to my Trump Antichrist playlist series, it's 56 videos deep.
All right, well,
and this is the first one. And it was back before I did Zoom. Like I had a little tiny camera on this desk here. And they went over what the bull was about and how it repped Trump. And I used 2 videos that are no longer up. And they were the 2 videos that showed me the most that Donald Trump's the Antichrist. It was this one, this one, this one, this one. No longer available. Donald Trump, the Antichrist is Born by Angel White. No longer available.
what unusual, if not 10 years in this industry?
And that's part of my Ghost in the Machine series. So that's a killer video. It's an hour and 57 minutes, 32 seconds long. It's called Donald Trump, the Antichrist, Part 1. It's got 3,721 views. It's got a lot of comments to it from way back in the day. So when I first started my first YouTube channel, right after the lockdowns and stuff, I've felt like I needed to do something. It was March 28th, 2020. It was right after they locked us down. I began this whole thing. So as Mystery Babylon started getting stronger in March of 2020, the Holy Spirit, in hope of, started doing his thing through me. Well, you be the judge of that. But that's what I think. And off we went. And y'all are here. And I'm very glad of it. But as you go through that, it does get into, it's 2 videos that were eventually removed that really showed me Trump was the Antichrist. And I borrowed them. There's the bull right there. The bull horns. Trump was born where the sun was in the middle of the bull horns. The bull horns. So what? Right there, the bull horns, the sun in Gemini, but there's Taurus, the bull. It was in between the bull horns. And then David Bowie did the 10-minute video Black Star where he had 3 men on a cross sexually gyrating before his fake death because he went out with a bang. And there's your total, or that's the sun in between the bull horns that Trump was born under, from David Bowie's Black Star. So we really break that. That's at Telling Truth Archives. I'll put this whole entire playlist if you want to watch it on your TV. Eventually, I do get into Zoom, but you'll watch me break down movie after movie. This is the best series you've ever seen in your life. This Donald Trump Antichrist series I made. Just fascinating. I can't tell you enough how I would implore you to just get lost in that. The second one, Donald Trump AC Part 2, even better proof. I thought I was just going to do one video. Then I was like, nope, there's more. And then there's more. And then there's more. And it just started growing. Mystery Babylon versus the Whore of Babylon and DTAC6, Part 6. What goes into naming these? I mean, seriously. But yes, I'll save that and put it in the description. Bradshaw family has a bull skull on the wall. And, you know, your Chicago Bulls logo, of course, with the red and black satanic and how they were champions under the GOAT. And that number 23. During some of their reality TV scenes, all done on purpose. I believe evil, deceptive demons, all of them. By the way, yeah, good stuff. And I'm sorry, let me get back to that. And give you some love there. There you go. Now, this person here says, what is the Great Reset? I keep hearing the term, but nobody ever explains it. They think they're going to collapse the earth, and then the phoenix will rise out of the ashes. And from that, they're going to get their new earth that they're going to have everybody totally controlled with no more religion. Imagine there's no heaven. You know, it's their imagine world. It's going to be a complete reset of the earth. And I don't know what their total goal is. They're all on a need to know basis. I think all of them think different things at different levels, are told different things at different levels of the Mystery Babylonian levels of the hierarchy, because they're all on a need to know basis. And they just are doing the bidding for Mystery Babylon So they're told, oh, everything's going to be great. Don't worry, just do your job, trust the process. So when these coaches are talking about trust the process, do your job, you got to stay focused, they're actually talking to all mystery Babylonians out there. Like they say, Saban's really talking to his players through his speeches, is a cipher. If I can translate that for you, that's really the hierarchy of Mystery Babylon talking to all the members. He's really speaking to the Mystery Babylonian community when it's trust the process, do your job. Don't ask questions, just trust what we're telling you, do your job. So that all came from Bill Belichick, who, of course, military. Dad was Navy coach. That's how he met Saban. Saban coached for Belichick's dad. And so they were heavily mind controlled and trained through that. You're either trained through that type process or what you would call a Jesuit type process. And Trump went to a Jesuit university, so on and so forth. Military school, yada, yada, yada. From dark to light, Gentle Wise says, the faction behind Jasara consider themselves to be working for the light. Yeah, Lucifer. That movement has no idea, as they love the Antichrist. They don't know it. The system, I almost married a girl. It's a gigantic cute freak. The system that is in opposition to the cabal, even though they don't realize they're actually the main part of the Antichrist. But remember how we discussed that it's not bad versus good, but bad versus evil. Yeah, pretty much. But just because the false prophet system is taking down the Antichrist system doesn't make the false prophet system good, although it sure will sound like it when it's presented to us. Yeah, I mean, when the false prophet and the Antichrist are on the stage, it'll be a supernatural world because the Antichrist will have seemingly come back from the dead, and 2 billion would have been killed through World War III. So the whole earth is going to be under shock and awe and traumatized and ready to fall for what's coming, or ready to fall for the strong delusion that they will believe the lie. Yeah, and so they always make the Federal Reserve banking system the bad guys when the real bad guy is the ghost in the machine that tells the earth what to do, tells the leaders, the human leaders, what to do. Your AI, which is your final kingdom. It's iron mixing with clay, Daniel 2:43. And what was the length of No Time to Die? 2:43 and 24 seconds, 2 hours, 43 minutes. And it's Daniel 2:43. Daniel 2:43, King James Version, Bible Gateway. So the iron machines, technology, mixed with the miry clay, man, shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. Yes, because they're going to possess the human body and use the human body as an avatar to then go kill sheep at a very fast rate. They're mingling themselves with the seed of men. They're actually, it's per the movie Venom, they are going to have a symbiotic relationship with the human body, also known as possession. See the movie The Exorcist, see the movie Venom. But they shall not cleave to one another. Yep. Just like in the movie Venom, the human host was dying off. The human host will eventually die off. And what gets eternal torment day and night forever and ever? The fallen angels. Humans don't get eternal torment. Hell is not eternal torment. Hell means the grave. The lake of fire is where the fire is. Long story. This is exactly what Trump and QAnon are doing now, along with the assistance of the other alliance countries such as Russia and China, all on the same squad. There are many others. Events are now in line with biblical prophecy. Oh, 1000%. Beyond that, many in the New Age claim that the current incarnation of Saint Germain is in fact Donald Trump. The time is nearly here to release the prosperity funds of the Saint Germain's World Trust. Why? Because those who are controlling the current monetary system of banking are simply no longer in control. I don't know if I think that's really what's going on, but your guess is as good as mine. I'm glad you're here, and I appreciate you sharing what your thoughts are, because you could be right. I think we're just waiting on Trump to go down, and then World War III, and then his return. And 1 out of 4 are going to die during World War III. It's 2 billion. It says 1/4 of the earth. That's the pale horse. due to the war and the famine. And they will be cranking up the technology, and people are going to be extremely ill. All right. So yes, the Great Reset is something they think is going to happen, but that's not actually what's going to happen. There will be no Great Reset. You're just going to have World War III and then the abomination of desolation. What thumbnail do I want to use? That? Nope. That. Same ones. Let's just go with it. Hi-yo. All righty then. That's at Telling Truth 2. We're at Telling Truth 3. What am I going to call this? More comments. And we need another attention grabber, don't we? I don't know. I think it's something. Love y'all.